Hi everyone, it's Sarah and welcome to my crochet channel. Now today's video is step number 2 in our Fanny Packs Are Back crochet along. And remember, this can also be a lovely shoulder bag, which is what I think I'm going to use, the one that I'm making for our demonstration for, and use this one as my fanny pack. Today we're going to be doing the top portion of the fanny pack. We've already done the body, and we're going to do the flap portion. It's rounded, and we're going to be doing some decrease stitches. Now, if you're looking for step 1, you can find that up here on that link right there. Just click that, and that will take you to step 1. Step 1 has all the materials that you're going to need, the yarn, the buttons, the D-rings, anything that you're going to need for that project. And we'll be using those same things for step 2. As I mentioned in step 1, I'm using Caron cakes for my project. And remember, you can use any medium number 4 weight yarn, cotton, cotton blend, wool, acrylic, whatever you have on hand. And that's why I decided to use this beautiful ombre for mine. And just a reminder, we're using an H hook, which is a 5.0 millimeter crochet hook. All right, everyone, let's get started with step 2. We have our 28 half double crochets in our last row, chain 1 and turn. What we're going to do first is stitch a decrease with our first 2 stitches, and that's called stitching 2 half double crochets together, or half double crochet decrease. So we're going to yarn over, we're going to go in our first stitch and pull up a loop, then we'll go in our next stitch and pull up a loop. You'll have 4 loops on your hook instead of 3. Yarn over and pull through all those loops. And now we're going to half double crochet in the stitches across. And what we did here is we decreased by 1 stitch because we stitched the first 2 together. And then we're going to go ahead and half double crochet across. 1 half double crochet in each of the stitches. I stitched that decrease with the first 2 half double crochets. I stitched a half double crochet in each stitch across until I reached my last 2 stitches. And we're going to stitch a decrease on this end as well. So yarn over, go in that stitch and pull up a loop. Then we go in that last stitch and pull up a loop, yarn over, and go through all 4 of those loops. And so now we had 28 stitches on this row, but because we decreased at this end and this end, we now have 26 half double crochets. I'm going to chain 1 and turn. So now we're just going to repeat what we did. We'll just have less stitches on this row. So we're going to stitch a decrease, or stitching 2 half double crochets together. So yarn over, go in, pull up a loop, go in, pull up a loop, yarn over, go through all 4 of those stitches, and then we'll half double crochet across until we reach those last 2 stitches. I've half double crocheted across until I reached my last 2 stitches. Yarn over, go in the next stitch and pull up a loop. Then we go in the last stitch and pull up a loop. Yarn over and go through all 4 of those loops. Chain 1 and turn. And now for this row we have 24 half double crochets. All right, and we're going to repeat this again and again. We're going to have less stitches. So yarn over, go in, pull up a loop, go in, pull up a loop, yarn over, and go through all 4 of those loops. And again, we're going to half double crochet across until we reach those last 2 stitches. And you can see how that's curving in on the side in order to make that rounded flap. I have half double crocheted across. Here's my last 2 stitches. Yarn over, go in, pull up a loop, go in, pull up a loop, yarn over, go through all 4 of those loops, chain 1, and now we have 22 half double crochets. And so what we're going to do for the next 4 rows is repeat what we've been doing. We're going to decrease at the beginning and end of each row, and it will continue to curve in. And we're going to repeat this for 4 more rows. I've completed that last row, and the way your rows should be is 28, 26, 24, 22, 18, 16, and end on 14 half double crochets. Because remember, we decreased by 2 every row because we decreased at the beginning and end of those rows. And isn't that nice how it just curves in? At this point, we're going to cut our yarn. We're going to tie off and weave this in. And I would go ahead, since we're finished with the body portion and the flat portion of our bag, and you can kind of see how this is going to work. Go ahead and take your needle and weave those ends in so they'll be out of the way when we start step 3. So just go ahead and weave those in at the beginning and right here on the end. And then you won't have to do it later. All right, I'm going to go ahead and weave this bottom one in as well. Remember, go through fibers of the yarn and stitches, not the holes, if you want it to hold. One way, then back the other. All right, so that is step 1 and step 2, the body of the bag and the flap. Now, for step 3, we're going to be doing the side panels that go on the bag and attaching them on. So we completed step 1, the body of the bag, and step 2, the flap of the bag. For step 3, we're going to be doing these side panels. We'll be making 2 and attaching them so that our bag has just a little bit of depth in it so it can hold quite a bit more things than if it was just attached and flat. So step 3 will be the side panels.